Well, there's not much to talk about right now. I want to be in the moment. I can't really do that, can I? I mean, can you just talk without having anything to say? And that's the point of it, that you just exist. Just being here now, can that ever be enough? Or can it ever be a reality that you're just here now? Can you just be here now? Or where are you? Where are you? Like, where was Warden Norton? You know, I just watched that damn movie. Warden Norton was such a jerk. And we'll dance like Injuns around the book fire. He's so calloused, or so like cunning, like he's, you know, when people get artistic with their sadism. And well, you know, I have I have taken some acid, but I didn't have any, you know, because when I take it, I save my tabs. You know, I put it in my mouth for 45 minutes, then I put it back in the bag. So I had like 7 tabs or something saved in the bag, and I just took them all. I don't know how much. I thought, you know, maybe it's like, I don't even think it's a whole tab that I took. You know, the probably 40 UG or something. One tab is 100 UG. In Canada, we pay tax on acid. You know, it's. Let me tell you something, please. Acid is a superior drug. Just straight up. It's less harmful. It's like severely less harmful. It's more scientific. It's not dangerous like alcohol or something. Why would you know? And just I have to be quiet for a moment because I keep talking when I have nothing to say, and that's worse than saying something when you are silent. You know, I'm messing up what I mean here. It's better to say nothing when you have nothing to say. And then your silence is appreciable. I liked the young guy in The Shawshank Redemption. He reminded me of someone. I liked how Andy said, I don't deal with losers. And he's like, no, I'm not a loser. Um, well, I have some eyelid tape coming in the mail. I told you that already though. This is my preamp, you know. I'm trying to not just automate. You know, I was feeling good. I took the acid like 3 hours ago. About. I thought nothing's happening. I forgot about it. Then suddenly, I stood up after I watched The Shawshank Redemption. A bunch of clips of it all merged together. So many that it was basically the entire movie condensed to 55 minutes of just the dialogue. I stood up and I felt. Now, this is going to be hard to explain. I felt a word, I don't even know what the word is. I felt here, like I felt valuable. I felt self-loving in a very tangible way. It wasn't like some abstraction. It was like I feel my body and I feel, I don't know. I like it. I like it. I like who I am. That's how I felt. I felt human. I'm trying to say I felt valuable, as if I had some kind of moment, like I was sensitive all of a sudden. So I was just standing up. I was just turning the light on, and I was enjoying my movements. This sounds probably trippy, but I didn't even remember I was high at that point. I don't even know if I am high right now, but I didn't remember about the acid, and I was just like, oh, I feel so unaffected by all of this. I feel just fresh and beautiful. Not like beautiful, like looking in the mirror. Not like that kind of beautiful, but like a sort of, my movements have a grace. And I'm enjoying this. I'm very here with myself right now. And I'm feeling just very lovely about this. I'm enjoying my own company, and there's no thorn in my side. There's no, you know, terrorist next door hammering on the door saying, I'm about to fuck you. It's just, and I was watching these rape scenes with Andy. The sisters, they just keep raping him. I was imagining like a handler, like orchestrating the torture, and you'd never see Warden Norton thinking of himself as a villain. And tonight I saw this episode of Gangstalking Simulation in which there was this interview, and he said, I don't know where it was, a woman hosting a group, and the guy calls in and he says, have you ever seen a cop who is gang stalked? And she said, no, we had a judge who was gang stalked. We've had every profession that you wouldn't imagine, presumably gang stalking professions, but we've never had a cop. Oh, we've had the FBI, some kind of FBI agent who retires or gets fired and writes a book about it. But just a plain old cop, we've never had it. And the guy says, well, I'd like to introduce myself. And he's a targeted cop. And she says, oh, wow, did you hear about targeting from the other cops? And he says, no, ma'am. And she says, I'm not surprised. So I guess he found out he was a target through the same way. And he was retired, too, at the time of calling in. He found out about it through the same way we did. And then I heard this other interview today that there was this guy, I don't remember his name, but he was talking about being microchipped and his kids being microchipped too, who were like 6 years old and 4 years old. And he was saying that they got, oh, this was on Targeted Justice on the live stream today. It was in a different language, but only half of it because the guy was translating. You'll have to excuse me, I'm trying not to blink right now because my eyelid will flip down. I have a paralyzed eyelid. And I have a flashlight shining in my face. And this guy found x-rays of microchips in him and his kids. And he said when he noticed the gang stalking, he first, I don't want to go into it, but the point I'm trying to make is when he noticed it, then they amped it up like a million times. And that was my experience too. When I noticed it, the more I noticed it, the more they amped it up. And it just sort of coincided with this thing I read the other day that said the police are told if you complain about it, it means you're doing something wrong. Which gave me the impression, I guess, when you notice it, they do it more or something. Hey, that was my experience. And then this guy, he always comments every he comments the same thing every time. I like this guy, I'm not complaining. He says, if you hear voices or if you talk to yourself, you've been implanted with a BCI chip. Facts. He signs everything with facts. And I said, again, because he comments the same, he has this like cut and paste thing. He comments the same thing every time. But he's not a robot. If you talk to him, he'll talk to you. So I commented back, I don't know about that, but sometimes I notice coincidences. Like I was thinking about autism the other day, and my spidey sense went off. I was like, I shouldn't talk about autism because maybe this guy is autistic, and he's gonna think I'm gang stalking him. But I said I was thinking of autism the other day, and then a commercial came on YouTube for autism, for parenting with autism or something. And then I saw a bunch of those. And I didn't know, did I see one of those commercials without realizing it? Then I thought of autism. Then I noticed the commercials and I thought that it was maybe someone reading my mind, which is hypothetical to me, but I mean I think I think that technology exists. Like I've heard of someone playing video games using their mind, using just their mind. Like they have electrodes put on their head or something, and you can put things under the scalp that are like electrodes. I don't know. I don't really know. And then a comment, the next comment down on that same post was this woman saying, my husband has autism. He's on the spectrum. And I had just wrote my comment about thinking about autism. And I thought, what are the odds of that? And my spidey sense was saying, don't say autism because this is going to trigger this guy. Because maybe this guy has autism. I mean, I don't know. And then, so then this woman, she writes, about her husband having autism, and I like the comment. And I almost want to say, just so you know, if you read that comment that I just wrote to someone else in this same thread about autism, I didn't see your comment first. I'm not like trying to give you a sensitization here. I somehow worried, that she would think that she's one of those people. I quite like her. I usually really hate it when people talk about God. I usually think they're fully fraudulent, but she's one of the people who it doesn't offend me. She'll say things like, t- t- responding to me after I had said, I had just looked at some of these top rated comments on YouTube for these shill videos of these fake documentaries about gang stalking that discredit us, and they have millions or hundreds of thousands of views. And the top rated comment with like 12,000 likes will be mocking us or something. And these documentaries are made like 7 years ago, and I'm noticing the tides changing, how over time, the newer documentaries on gang stalking, which are shills, there's lots of people in the comments defending us and saying, no, it is real. And it reminded me of the 2019 mass murder, how you couldn't say anything about that until finally now you kind of can. And so the changing tides gave me some kind of hope. What the hell am I talking about? Changing tides, Gangstalking videos. And so, yeah, it gave me some kind of hope. Like, I feel appreciated, I feel validated. Um, I feel like there are people who support me, and I'm that weak that I need that. And I'm not ashamed to be weak, and I'm not bragging about it like some kind of masochist. But I'm saying there's such a defense mechanism to being vulnerable, and just to harden up and just to say it's all within me. I'm just the guru on the mountaintop, and the whole world can be fucked. I don't need any of them. I don't trust anyone anymore, remember? I'm a TI. And then suddenly it's like these humans, like this humanity that you've written off as meaningless and nothing. Suddenly it's like, oh wow, people have my back. Oh wow, that I actually really. It's not just a random number. It's not just that like 800 people liked this comment, and it's just some. These are real people, and this matters to me. And this woman, she'll comment. She'll say, don't do that. Just remember God. Like that's her. She's like, no, don't look for anything from anyone. Just remember God. Just that's God loves you. God loves the gang stalkers. You just focus on God. And I'm like, okay, normally I'd be like, fuck you. You don't know. I mean, you're just full of shit. But with this woman, I was just like, yes, ma'am. Yes, yes, ma'am. Like I'm having this poetic moment. Like I see the light. I'm embracing my weakness, and she's like, no, just don't do that. Just focus on God. And well, I have to switch. My thumb was burning. I mean, I have sensitivity about even telling you that. Like I'm kind of like I don't want to tell you my thumb is burning. You're gonna be bored with that. But I see these people. I mean, I was telling someone earlier, like I see these famous people, and I think would they have my back? Would the smear campaign work on them? Would they shun me out of town too? These famous people who I watch on podcasts and stuff. Are they too high and mighty for me? And they're alternative, and they talk about how I met a real celebrity, and their handler made them not talk to me. Would they be just that same kind of person? And when I put my cat on my chest, he lays on his back with his feet up in the air, and he just lays on my chest. Like he doesn't try to move. I don't have to hold him there. And I was thinking, I'm laying there with my cat, like a total loser. and and I had all these dreams. I wanted to be like a famous musician and rich and all this. And it's like everything is, now I know that the world isn't for me. I don't have a place here, at least in the way I thought I did. And and so I'm laying down with my cat, and he's laying on my chest, and I can hear him breathing. And I'm thinking, I'm watching a documentary on the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And when I was a closet homo when I was like 15 to like 25, I really loved Anthony Kiedis. And one of my friends works at a place where he goes to rehab. It's like he's a counselor there. But I don't really talk to that friend anymore. Um, but anyways, so I'm laying. and I'm thinking I have it better. And John Frusciante of the Red Hot Chili Peppers is apparently a targeted individual. That was really what was mattering to me more, actually. I didn't necessarily think I had it better than John Frusciante, but I was looking at Anthony Kiedis, who I used to love, who I still do, but you know why I don't really love him anymore is because he's not vegan anymore. That's really why. And I don't feel the same about all non-vegans. Well, anyways, I was thinking I got it better than Anthony Kiedis here and Chad and Flea. Like just laying here with my cat, like, and I wasn't high. I was I seriously have it better. Like like I'm a loser, like laying with my cat. And this is so cool. Like this is actually way cooler than 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 anything that they've ever experienced. For real. This is more picturesque. This is deeper and higher. This is more far out. This is more poetic. This is more zen. This is more peaceful and beautiful and hilarious. This is a more ultimate sunlit peak than they've ever had. Sorry about being poetic there. Sunlit peak. I mean, I stole that from someone. Relaxing in the sunlit peak. I brushed my hair today. It has to be done every day. You know, when you don't do it for a few days, it's like, wow, it hurts. You have to do special techniques. Like using two hands. No, I don't. I'm not talking about um, special detangler. No, I detangle dry. Okay, I detangle with two hands. One to hold. I mean, that should be self-explanatory. You hold your hair to not pull it, and then with the other hand you use the I take the brush right off the brush. Like if that makes sense. There's part of it that comes right off. And then kind of like if you've ever seen a horse brush, like you hold it right in the palm of your hand, like that's how I that's how I use the brush. And then I washed my oh I had I brushed my hair obviously, and I washed my hair with a new shampoo. That was nice. I didn't use conditioner. I washed it twice. I rinsed it once and then washed it again, rinsed it again. I almost used conditioner, but frankly, you're gonna get greasier sooner. And I would rather just use less shampoo to keep a little bit of the natural oil in. But I also washed it twice. I also thought I'm gonna have some pretty. Oh no! Oh crap! Oh my god! My eyelid just got fucked up. I'm so sorry. Well, what can I say? Fuck, The eyelid tape is coming in the mail, and I'm excited for that. You know that guy, Sauron, or I don't know his name. He's he's a wizard in not Gandalf. He's another wizard with long hair in that movie. He's watched someone in real life. The actor who plays him has watched someone be beheaded by guillotine. And there's this guy named Rusty Cage who may or may not be a targeted individual who has built a guillotine, a real, literal, functional guillotine in his backyard, presumably because he's gang stalked and he wants to die. But he made a song where the gang stalk us, baby, and we know who you are, something like that. I didn't know if he was mocking it or if he's mocking gang stalking or mocking TIs or what's going on with him. Well, ultimately, I didn't really find him interesting. Sadly to say, his music was good, but I'm not really sad. This is just more bullshit from me. I'm sorry. Even I'm not even sorry. Everything I say I don't mean. I don't mean anything I say. Do you ever feel like that? Like a total fraud? And you're not even robbing a bank or being someone you're not. Not deliberately. You're just somewhere else. Where are you? Well, I'm trying to be here, actually. I have an itchy nose. It's on the inside though. I can't scratch it. Do you think there's a certain type of person who farts silent versus loud? Like someone who lets their fart seep out without trying to fart, or someone who's like, "Oh, I got to fart," like pushes it out. Like, do you think there's like a personality trait? Like, do you think if you just like fart without trying, that it means that you're more zen? And should I shave my beard, my mustache, my goatee? You know who I feel affinity with is the Asians because they grow same kind of facial hair. Anthony Kiedis, I think, too, has that same kind. I was thinking maybe I should shave my face. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. I listen to Dr. Phil like on prank phone calls on a soundboard. And that's how I fall asleep. I listen to Jimmy Dore. I listen to David Icke. I listen to targeted individuals. None of them are my spirit people though. My spirit people are Osho. That's it really. And then there's some other ones who are like that woman who says just focus on God. There's like a handful of those. My spirit people I listen to with a different edge, edge like I listen to them. Uh, I don't fall asleep to them. There are other people who I just kind of like them. Like they keep me company. I feel comfort by them, and they're a sort of anesthetic or a sleeping pill. Like I think, oh, I like hearing their voice, and I'll fall asleep listening to them. Like Dr. Phil prank phone calls, Judge Judy prank phone calls. I like the people who answer the phone sometimes too. They really make the prank. Trying so hard not to blink right now. But with someone like Osho, I'm like listening to what he's saying. It's not passive. I'm not just like, oh, I'll just fall asleep listening to Osho. If I try that, I'll be awake. I'll be like listening to everything he says. And to some extent, I have that same kind of relationship with certain people where it's beyond romance. It's a higher dimension than falling in love. Love is just sleazy compared to that other dimension of spirit. I'm sorry to say it. I'm sure when I'm not high later, I'll say spirit. What the hell were you talking about? You you con artist bullshitter. Admit that you don't know what spirit is. Well, do you have to know what something is to recognize it? Like, do you know what life is, but you know you're alive? You know your experience. You know your experience, but ah, do you know how long I've not blinked for? You know your experience. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm so sorry. I'm just such an embarrassment. Well, this song is really just pissing me off here. Really, it's too much. This song is distracting me. Oh, this is much better. Okay. Um, you know your experience. You know your experience. What does that mean? Am I just like literally or like retarded? You know, I've had quite a few people in my life who are geniuses, really, really smart geniuses, like really extra high IQ geniuses. And for a long time, I thought I think I'm retarded, and I think I've tricked all these people into thinking I'm smart, and they're so innocent that they don't even realize it. And I'm acting like I appreciate their company because I'm so smart too. But really it's because I'm a retard and I think if I hang out with them it'll make me look smart. And so I think what I'm trying to say, you don't know what spirituality is, but does that mean you can't recognize it? You don't know what your experience is, but you can recognize that you're having an experience. I think that's what I meant to say. Well, what are you going to do? Translate spirit to some other word? Are you going to get a thesaurus? Just hypothetically, say that you have figured out what spirituality is. Are you going to say it's when you let your fart seep out? Because you're not in a hurry anymore and you don't need the entertainment. If you really get life, what are you going to write a musical and say, look, I've expressed it. I can confine it and I can say what it is. If you really get it, how can you ever say what it is? By seeping your fart? By by writing the Shawshank Redemption? How can you even know what it is? Does it itself know what it is? Does life itself know what it is? You know, I'm playing this video game, fucking the Guardian Ape, Sekiro. I beat Genichiro. In case you've been following for a while, you can remember trying to beat this boss called Genichiro. When I beat him, I was like, oh, now I beat the whole game. Nope. Got to the Guardian Ape. I'm frustrated with this game. And my mom just gave me some salmon. You know, I'm vegan, and but when food's gonna get thrown out, otherwise, if no one else eats it, uh, I'm all for eating non-vegan food. even though it weirds me out sometimes. So I have like some salmon I can eat, and yeah, it's kind of exciting. Yeah, it's what I'd really like is a chicken. You know, if I was not vegan, I don't know how they do the rotisserie chickens at Costco, but if I was not vegan, I would, and I personally, like watching brining. I would probably brine my chickens for a day. Unless those rotisserie chickens, however those are done, those are just ooh, I a drumstick, a thigh, better than Swiss chalet. I'll take a grocery store rotisserie chicken over a Swiss chalet chicken, even though it's the same thing. It's I like the grocery ones better. Swiss chalet sucks. I went to get a vegan burger. It was like 50 fucking dollars. Like not literally, but it was expensive. It wasn't even good. I mean their fries are good. You have to admit their fries are pretty good. I don't think they even have Coke. They have Pepsi. And it's not about being happy. It's not about being sad either. It's just about being. Most people don't do that, I think. They don't be. I don't think they be. Like they say, be yourself. I don't think most people be themselves. Do you think they do? Oh, really? Yeah, okay, sure. I knew you'd say that. I think you're right, though. But only about that last thing you said. That, yeah, it's true, they do be themselves, but it's kind of rare. Why does my throat hurt so bad? In some sense, the beginning of this conversation, I was talking about how I felt suddenly like graceful. I think that feeling was kind of like an interruption in the normal trauma. Like I'm normally not being myself because I'm traumatized, and suddenly I wasn't traumatized and I was being myself. And I realized, oh, I wasn't being myself until this moment. I thought I was caught up trying to be happy, trying to not be sad. And and that was actually a cover that I was focusing on some endless goose chase to avoid feeling totally helpless of being gangstalked. Well, like, if only I can just positive think my way to happiness, that's the goal. And I can control that. But really, that's just a surface level distraction. And really, I'm using that to distract myself from the fact that I'm completely traumatized, insensitive. I can't even cry or feel sad about being gang stalked or feel upset about it because I'm so traumatized. I can't even process the feelings. I'm just numb. And then suddenly I was like being myself. And then, um, and then I had to share it with someone or something. I don't know. Yeah, no, that's actually it. I had to share it. I had to share it with you. To make it real. Oh yeah, and I have a new trick I'm doing. Um, well, I shouldn't. It's a little bit, locker room talk, but it means a lot to me, and so, um, I'm basically closing my foreskin. That's how it feels. Like I'm sealing it, like keeping it closed, as opposed to open. And that was a very subtle, hidden sensation. Maybe that has something to do with tonight's sudden breakthrough of feeling like I'm being myself. I think if you have a closed dick, you got a lot going for you. I really do. And if you don't, you got problems.